question. Um, retype the question because I don't know where it's at. Um, and I'll try to answer it. Dr. Kia Pruitt, Kia, last name Pruitt, Pruitt. Yes, you can have more than one totem animal, but one of them is going to be the primary or the lead, and you will be able to switch them lead according to the task that you're trying to perform that you need their assistance with. No, don't do the paperwork, Faison. That's a trap. The paperwork is the paper chain. Because when the paperwork is copywritten, yep, that's Dr. Kia Pruitt. She's the one with the necessary information, the SQE trusts, and all of that stuff. We got people in the community that's responsible for the part that they work on. I'm not. I don't work on the Nasera. I work on cracking the codes and putting in the public domain the redemption process that we following to recover the tribal lands, and it's all tribal land, back from the colonizers in lieu of the discovery of Plymouth Rock, commemorating the shipwreck called the Wreck of the Plymouth, which we know in the history books as the Mayflower. And we know that the military was ordered, under Donald J. Trump, the Navy ordered the docked vessel of the Admiralty jurisdiction commissioned by London to immediately exit the harbor of DC because in 2017, the tribes marched the totem pole to claim back what's known as the crime scene that was in an enclave, 10 square miles, that was the original crash site of the Plymouth. The lawsuit was filed in the through secret societies, and they went in to create the International Court of Criminal Justice in order to have a body in place to enforce the rights of all of the ones that's asserting a tribal jurisdictional right to recover from the contracts that they was never party to, and that most of the people in the contracts had nothing to do with the people of the land. And that's why none of the tribal leaders' names can be found in any of the treaties, which makes the treaties be predicated upon the fraud of an assumed identity of the organic people of the land or the identity being bestowed upon them by presidential order or presidential decree, which is not how the tribes of the land do business, right? Yo, yo, totem animal, Dolo, RJ, it, whatever you doing, the totem animal that needs to give you the guidance takes the lead, and it can go within a split second. You can go from the lone wolf totem trotting across the vacant field to the full-blown war bear, the grizzly war bear that left a grisly scene of guerrilla warfare on the land, and the land had a stain that scorched from the souls of those who suffered under the oppression and tyranny of the wicked who assumed the identity and tried to insert themselves in with the righteous, meaning the ones with the organic right to reclaim the earth, the ones with the right to assert tribal jurisdiction to restore the rest of the tribes to their tribal positions on the land. And this can be done globally by any of the tribal networks that's set up by landmass. This just so happens that North and South Turtle Island and the islands are all under one grand matriarch, but we have under her a series of matriarchs across the land who works with the chief in order to solve the problems of the tribes in processing a new era as the day becomes online, so to speak. Then they awakening becomes the catalyst for the change to take place. So they all working together, even when they don't know they working together for the greatest good, because that's how they wired. In this one, I'll lose it while I'm trying to answer it. Okay, so this is Iron Bush is asking me, y'all. He said, I received information that the 3D will be closing out from 2039 to 2046, at which point the pole shift will occur. The pole shift will occur. Try this one. Essentially moving the 3D from this realm. Do you think the Anunnaki will have any part in this, or do you think at this point their DNA is so integrated with ours that we are them and they are us? Did they mix with us so they could survive, not for anything or benefit? Okay, so that's kind of a big question. It starts off about the ending of the 3D reality. The 3D reality will be here. It will be here, but we won't be operating from a three-dimensional paradigm. The five-dimensional paradigm is the paradigm of love and spirit. The 3D paradigm is the paradigm of density and um, aversion or repulsion is what it is. It's density and repulsion, and they can't not clash coming together. So in the 3D, it's just the construct that we living in. But the 5D is a non-physical location, right? As a non-physical location, when we ascend, we move from third dimension, physical matrix, energetically to dimension, spirit matrix. And we operate from the spirit matrix aspect in the 3D aspect. So the 3D physical reality is not going to just vaporize and we are 5D beings. It's not going to happen. But what's going to happen is in this 3D construct, we're going to absorb a frequency that's going to come from the earth after the sun and the earth get done answering all of the defects that the women's mitochondria reported back to earth from scanning Y chromosomes and X chromosome in the same position of the children, right? And once they understand that the children are being birthed on higher frequency, now they're going to try to interfere with the frequency by undermining the child that's being born gifted. Anyway, so the 3D is not going to physically go anywhere, but we're going to change to a spirit based reality we living in, as opposed to a dog eat dog, grab it what you can mentality. And then he said, at which point the pole shift will occur. The pole shift occurred, but it didn't occur in the manner that it normally happens because Nibiru altered the trajectory and altered the whole system's um, effect on flipping the crust of the earth. Um, Go to Google, type January 6 Earth core anomaly, and, and it's going to tell you that the core of the Earth stopped spinning inside the Earth. And this lasted, I think, a day or so, maybe 2 days. And then it reversed direction, right? So this was what would have been a catastrophe of a pole shift had the mantle and the crust um, flipped as opposed to just the core. When it was just the core, it changed the pitch, tone, and frequency of Schumann resonance, which is the pulses that the earth sent out to the women's mitochondria to alert them, disaster coming, girl, get your family and go. And they can hear it like I'm talking now, like they can hear me. Once they tuned in on that level, then they begin to sync with similarly situated mitochondrial developed women in order to be the Tesla coils of this creation, right? So the pole shift was the shifting of the core this time instead of the mantle. The Anunnaki is not allowed to interfere right now because the war that was being waged on Earth that started on Nibiru over the war in heaven and landed on Earth, right? The fallen angels. Um, that has to play out as if there is no super beings or exceptionally gifted beings. It has to play out as we educate ourselves, the gods in the system, above the program that created the system. Once we mentally surpass the program that maintains the system, now we are in the position to alter the program to the benefit of the most people, right? Um, and do you think at this point their DNA is so integrated? Okay, so they have integrated DNA with the humans. But not all. It's more than one bloodline lineage of royal families on Nibiru, or Orianos, what they call it in the New Testament, which is heaven. This differing bloodlines all came to Earth, sent delegates, I should say, to Earth to assist with giving a drop of divine blood to the newest addition to the human family that was denied rights of ascension by the Anunnaki scientists. And the war that was originally two brothers, Enki and Enlil, or Set and Ra, Osiris, Set and Osiris, and it ended up being a war instead of the two brothers fighting between Heru, right, the fallen father's son, and the uncle, Set, who tried to usurp or take or claim the kingdom as he had won it in warfare, which makes his rulership legitimate in the Anunnaki text. But because the earthborn Heru, heir to the throne, it is the one that Enlil has to stop from becoming a mature enough adult to assert the tribal rights of the tribes, to govern, control, and repair and replenish the lands of Turtle Island, which is our natural birthright, right? So we already have some sizable portion of their DNA, but we also have our own badass um, earthborn DNA off the motherline through the power of love, wakening and resonating through the mitochondria in the cells of all, as the powerhouse of all living cells is mitochondria on Earth, because mitochondria is a women's right to create and recreate and procreate according to their creative capacity and their ability to link with the dark mother. And anybody that have the mitochondria can be can communicate directly with the dark mother. And once you experience that level of love and power, you won't never want nothing else less than that. Let me get caught up now. Okay, so I hope I answered you, Iron Bush. She rapping this mofo. Witting the Devil. Witting the Devil is an excellent book. That's one of my favorite books of all time, because you have to raise your thinking above the thinking of the devil, or else you're gonna always be his victim chasing. Cheryl Jones said, they are doing that with this abortion, trafficking rituals, etc. is influencing this. You are right, sweetie. The control of the um, positive golden heart ones being distracted with the gossip of the dirt of others will slow down the ascension rate of everybody. All of that stuff is connected. The abortion is a Babylonian blood magic ritual to snatch a woman's child out before before the child and the mother can bond. That's an old torture technique. Now it's common practice, and women freely go get tortured because that baby gonna stay in your arc field until you have a baby to let him out in, and he gonna keep like, "Mama, when you gonna let me out this energy? I need to get in the physical." I'm like Pimp C. I need to be seen. Come on, bro. You got to hurry this thing up. I don't know what the other characters up to, man. I'm tell you, but they kind of weird, man. They be on some old weird old booty clapping type stuff. And you know, like I told y'all, me and Bun, we ain't never get down on none of them old freaky things. I already know about that Diddy party and all that, man. But that ain't how real players supposed to carry it, how they supposed to get down. I don't care what they say. uh Princess Jade, yeah, a lot of us are in higher realms from the shift, but the people standing next to you can't even tell. That's the hard part. The people standing next to you, you vibrating on 5D frequency, pure love energy, and they know there's something that's different, but they have no clue that you vibrating at such a level higher than they can ever aspire to attain because they not you. Mm. So they are doing okay. SikApe at the North Gate. King Kong is coming. So, Iron Bush say, so are we gonna have to keep up with this brotherly battle? Prince Ea, Enki, and Enlil Yahweh, and did Nibiru intervene due to karma or benevolence? Nibiru is not who intervened. It was the Galactic Council after Tahuti blew the Gandiva to try to annihilate everything on the planet that didn't belong here, right? The asteroid belt is called the Iron Bracelet, but that is the rest of Tiamat. When Earth was known as Tiamat, it was about almost to the size of Jupiter or Saturn. It was big like those gas giants, but it was an Earth giant or a Kai giant, right? Which takes us back to divine insight. So Free Rashad Jamal, we know that shit made up by the shit that they refuse to tell the defense about their awareness of the setup by electronic media of either text messages or emails or probably both, right? So there is no correcting your status. That's a fallacy uh, based on your attempts to status correct the way they tell you to do it by serving notices and filing affidavits and forms